sports analysis.
Entertainment reviews, and everything in between. Yo, what's that word? 12 Minute Podcast, episode 76. Got my guy back. It's been a while. How you doing, my guy?
Good. And you?
I'm doing well. Gotta start off with playing the hits. Gotta ask about it. Gotta be discussed, man. So about the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, man. Do you think that there was a mouth guard issue, or what do you think that was about as far as, Mike seemingly biting the glove?
I don't know. I thought initially anxiety, like a little bit of anxiety, maybe. Like, you still in front of about millions of people, so, and that's something that he doesn't just do inside that ring. He does it, when he's probably sparring, hitting the bag. I don't know why he does it, but I would guess anxiety.
For Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. And I know a lot of people were saying, somebody told me, and these questions came from like fans of the show that they wanted me to ask them and stuff like that. I know they were saying they thinking it's like oh, you hit me too hard, bro, chill out type of situation. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, I heard other stuff as well. Like in terms of, how would you say? They said, "Oh, that's how you keep your hand to your face. You keep your hands up. You bite your glove, so you know exactly where it needs to be." Is what I heard. I'm no Mike Tyson, but I used to bite my glove too sometimes, and I would just have a little bit of anxiety when I'm like, and it won't even be me fighting. It'd just be me, hitting the bag or sparring or something. I don't know. For me, that's how, that's what I feel when I do it. And I was doing it without somebody telling me, bite your glove. Because why would you bite your glove if somebody cracks you while you biting your glove? Your mouth is kind of open. You can mess up your jaw like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think, now if that's true, I could be wrong. But if your mouth's open, they say close your mouth for a reason. Like, if you get hit with your jaw open, that's how you break your jaw. So
definitely. It's interesting. A few more questions about the Jake versus Mike. A fan asks, should there be a legal age limit on boxing? On who is allowed to box? In your opinion?
Maybe if older people should be in an older class, like in the amateurs, they have a master's division.
You might be frozen.
So,
you back?
Hello, can you hear me now? Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So there's a master's divisions in the amateurs. So like when you're under 18, you fight kids around your age group and they try to match you up perfectly. Then when you turn 18, if you go into a tournament, you kind of gonna get what you get. You might get an 18-year-old just like you, or you might get a 35-year-old, 34-year-old. And I think they cut it around like 40 years old, 45 years old. Then it's like the masters divisions where 40-year-olds compete with 40-years and up. So I mean, maybe this was a money grab. I don't know, but I don't know what that was.
I feel you. I don't know either. I turned it off after the fourth round. I just didn't like to see one of the GOATs getting hit on like that, to be honest. Last question about Jake and Mike, though. Who do you think would be a suitable dance partner for Jake coming up next?
In terms of what? What's the angle that you're asking?
It's a good question because I don't know his end goal, if it's just securing a larger bag or similar bags, or actually trying to get one of the more recognized world titles. I'm not sure which path he wants to take. So,
Title you saying?
what happened?
Like a world title?
Yeah, like I'm not sure which one of those he's trying to do, the bag or the title, but either one of those two, if you could pick for either path, what would you say?
Okay, so we got two paths here, depending on what you're going for. If you're going for money, cool. You just keep fighting like MMA style fighters. You keep fighting, the people that you're fighting, the path that you're choosing them on, don't fight a boxer. Unless it's like Canelo and it's a big payout because realistically that's who he's called out. So and then now it's getting entertaining to where you see the progression and the growth. Could he beat Canelo? Da, 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 da. So can this kid really do it? He'll get the people that aren't really tuned in, and be like, okay, cool. Like this is dope. This is cool. A guy like me started working out. Everybody's laughing at him, and now he made it to the big stage, and we saw the progression. Looking at it from the end point. Like this is me taking myself out of position that we are now in time and putting it. What can be the end result? So that's keep doing what he's doing and go the Canelo route. Milk it maybe like one or two more fights, and then get a Canelo fight or get one right now. Who knows? Like they could go that route. That's for money. Keep doing what he's doing now. Now, if you're talking about a world title, realistically, for him to get to a world title, right? That's going to take, not saying he can't do it or he can do it, but if he had a legit shot at getting a world title, he has the money, the training camps that he's doing, he's motivated, that's great. Realistically, for him to get a world title, at the weight that he's at, because remember, it's sanctioned, he fought a heavyweight division. So he's not, if you're talking about a world title, he's not getting a title fight with Canelo. He's just getting a money fight with Canelo because Canelo fights at 168, barking up to the 175 range. So it would just be a fight where they just, aren't the same weight. Whereas he has to fight Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Like nobody really thinks that. Like if you want a world title, because he's not going to lose 40 pounds to fight Canelo. I mean, he can maybe. I don't know. I don't think his body structure can do that. I don't think he probably could do that body structural wise, but will he be healthy enough to be fighting is a big question.
Mm.
From 227, what was he on fight night? He has to go down to 168, 175. That's the Canelo has titles at 168. Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about? So that's just money if he fights Canelo. Whereas unless he comes overweight and they both meet at 190, I don't know, Canelo goes walk around weight. If he gets to 190 walk around weight, these are important questions, behind the scene questions that a lot of people don't see. Whereas if he's fighting for a world title, he's in the heavyweight division, 227. So that means he's fighting Tyson Fury, Usyk, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. Like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about titles. We're talking about chips. Like, and his style, like, he got power, but I don't know if it's knockout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua power, Tyson Fury power, Realistically, not right now. You would have to keep doing what he's doing, fighting MMA fighters, then get, kind of mid-tier to low-ranked professional fighters that are like, a certain record. They probably got a couple losses but wins to make it look okay. No, this is realistic. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you build it up. I'm not talking shit or nothing like at him. Like, realistically, if there was a real legitimate chance to win a world title, like looking realistic, like, all right, can we do this? This is the mission we've been set out to do. How do we do this? Is it really achievable? This will be a 5-year plan from here on out. Keep doing what he's doing for 5 years. Get like 2 more MMA fighters, but on the young side that are heavyweights, like around there. You got to get some MMA heavyweights, not as much striking mental capacity as somebody would that's been doing it for 15 plus years because of experience. Get somebody like that, but still fundamentally sound that looks good, but you beat them up. And then you move to a low rank. A few of those guys move to a low rank boxer that didn't put. That's not like amazing, but he don't suck, and then you build up gradually, and then you see if you could get like a world title shot from a heavyweight, and we don't know who it is. Hopefully there's no like emergent heavyweight in his prime, like can't nobody beat him, or the four titles are spread apart, because there's really four major titles in boxing that are like, there's a lot of titles that get you recognized to get you to the actual title. Like you win the Intercontinental, you're the guy winning the state titles, the country titles, Then you move up to the world titles, you got to win the continental titles type, ordeal. Because there's so many belts. Sometimes they're just creating them just to create them. Like, hey, this is the event for this belt,
Yeah, I know.
And then,
He got called out. Jake got called out by Arturo Brodrick and Daniel Dubois, who's a heavyweight and stuff like that, saying, they'll give him a shot, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll
yeah,
see
that
how
would
it
be
plays.
crazy. I I think I seen the tweet on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
of Artur Better Beat Up saying, "Yeah, I'll give it to him." Now he's being took it serious. Like, you know what? He's legit. I like the guy. He's
Yeah,
making money. It's an avenue. This is just for fun. You know what I'm saying? But still like a nice little sweat. Why
yeah.
not? Why wouldn't I take the money? It's cool. It's dope. It's fun. This is what I do. Why won't I just make some money for like, this is literally what I do. Like,
Right,
a
right,
YouTuber say he want to fight. Well, shoot, who am I to stop him? Like, is
right,
what
right,
they're
right.
saying, like in their mind.
Yeah,
The ones that, it's easy to say when you don't get the deal or you don't get the money and you're kind of like been here doing it longer, you're probably like in a sense of, man, he getting all this money and he not even a real boxer, to whereas you're like, man, shoot, he gave me the shot to beat him up. Hey, hold on now. This is
yeah,
dope. Like, you'll
for
have
sure.
that. So if we're realistically world title, we're looking at a 5-year plan from here on out. 3 to 8 year plan, maybe. Because what is he? Maybe 30? I don't know his age. 28,
27.
29, 30,
27.
27. Yeah, don't get him into no wars. Keep your body, disciplined. Keep your temple clean. Basic stuff. Work
Yeah,
hard, be diligent, be a student of the game. And then try to get a world, and then keep having the sparring partners you're having. You're gonna have to up your sparring partner competition in the heavier divisions, or just
yeah.
they're doing right by him, I don't think they're doing wrong by him.
So
We would just have to see, but that realistically, a world title will be a 5-year plan from here on this point.
I feel that.
To be like, but he's done 5-6 years, but
How'd you feel about the co-main
that's the truth.
between Katie Taylor and Amanda Soriano? I know a lot of people were saying wild stuff about Katie Taylor and things of that nature. How'd you feel about the fight in general?
I thought Amanda Serrano won. With that being said, Katie Taylor's dope though. I just think the first fight was closer, but this fight was like, there's a thing when controlling, and I'm sure you'll ask me the question. You got to. It's a hot topic in boxing. I just know it. That control the pace of the fight. I think Katie Taylor's fighting to survive. I think she felt her power early and was like kind of like not in survival mode, but like box survival mode. Like I'm still here, but like I can't play around with her. This girl's coming to kill me. Type of mode that she was in. Just going by how she was fighting Katie Taylor, she had a good game plan. Box the puncher. And Amanda Serrano was coming forward the whole night. I just thought she landed more. Like, even if copy box is a little bit off, it can't be like, they say she landed 100 more. I mean, if she didn't land 100 more, 80 more, cool, whatever. Let's say they got it wrong by 20 punches. Shoot, maybe even 30 punches. You're still 50 punches up.
Right.
You took away 50 punches. You still 50 punches up on the stat sheet. And I think she controlled the pace of the whole fight. Amanda Serrano controlled the pace of the whole fight. Because she had her on it, like she was on her back foot, and you could be on your back foot and box and win. It's just I feel like she was on her back foot in a more survival mode step. I thought, and Amanda Serrano landed harder punches that were more effective.
That's what I was going to ask you for sure. For sure. And I think it was a good look for women's boxing and stuff. I think it broke the viewership record for women's boxing match. So shout out to both of them for sure.
Yep.
Not sure if you got a chance to watch this one, but did you get a if you did, what are your thoughts on Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic?
Um, I won't get too into that field, but Jon Jones is great. He's one of the few people in my mind because I'm an outsider to the sport still. Like I'm still combat sports and still have a great general sense of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say Jon Jones, Alex Pereira, uh, the Izzy, the Airbender guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I forgot his name.
Is he something?
Khabib
Yeah.
Nurmagomedov.
Mm-hmm.
Khabib, they all make MMA look like an art. Like I used to be like, man, this is just grueling. They're just rock'em sock'em robots. They try to say that about boxing sometimes, but I'll be like, man, this is really like gruesome. But those guys make it like an art, and they make me want to watch MMA more. And that's all I could say like about that. But I think Jon Jones
Okay.
is amazing.
So let me ask you this then. I won't be specific. I was gonna be specific, but I'll frame it in this way. Jon Jones, his mandatory is Tom Aspinall, but he talked about actually wanting to fight Pereira. So I'll ask you this: do you think fighters should be forced, like literally forced, to fight their mandatory, as it said, or if they've earned the cachet, should they be able to pick who they want to fight?
Hey, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting connection here. React to the question. Do
So Jon Jones, his mandatory is Tom Aspinall, but he's talked about wanting to fight Alex Pereira, and he's mentioned things where it makes more business sense. Do you think fighters should be 100% forced to fight their mandatory, or to pick and choose who they want to fight if they have the right cachet?
um
Oh, we might have lost you again.
sorry about that, boss.
You good?
I'm battling connection issues. With Jon Jones skipping his mandatory.
No.
I think I mean just in case to fight Alex Pereira versus Aspinall, I think this would be a fight that like if that's a green light because Alex Pereira is moving up in the divisions and he's breezing by him very fastly into a timely manner and a deserving fighter of title shots. Um Tom Aspinall is the number one contender and he also deserves a shot at the title too. Um how they go about that, I think it's fair if Jon Jones goes the route that he wants to go. Like if it was like choosing Jake Paul over, no disrespect to Jake Paul, but Jake Paul over, or a YouTuber that just comes in or somebody less deserving, or Jake Paul goes over mandatory, for example, over Aspinall, then I can understand Aspinall like, nah, bro, like I'm the mandatory. What the heck? Versus, Alex Pereira, it's like it hurts, but it is Alex Pereira, even though you probably, as a man, Aspinall believes he will win. And he'll beat Pereira or Bones. That's why he's fighting. He ain't going in there to lose. So I think this is an okay look if he did fight Alex Pereira, and it's probably just a money fight too. But it's money and it's a lot of championships because he gets to say, even though probably the excuse is he fought a smaller Alex Pereira, but I mean Alex Pereira is what? How many divisions does he have? 2 to 3 now?
Yeah, middleweight, and then he's the champion at light heavyweight right now.
Yeah, so he's going up for a third, chasing greatness, proving that he's, multi-generational, multi-talented, different division type of ordeal. Because that's how sometimes boxers get ranked. It's not just, I'm a world champion. It's how much divisions you have. That's how they set up these pound for pound lists sometimes. Like, for the most part. That's the basis. Like, okay, who's got the world title, and then also who's got more titles once everybody you're counting all the champions with titles.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I think you just answered some of it when I asked you about Jake. Um, but considering prospects like Keyshawn Davis, Floyd Schofield, and Abdullah Mason, they just passed, milestone tests in their career. How long, what do you think, or can you give us insight into a prospect like before they get the big fights, like how the managers go about managing their careers?
The managers, I mean, they got to make money. So I'm pretty sure they're going business route first
Mm-hmm.
and then accolades route. I mean, if you're a manager over multiple people, um, you're basically out like a scout, a form of a scout. Like you're trying to find the best competition. Oh, I want the guy with a bunch of amateur wins. How would you go about it? Like, are you going to give it to the guy that you've never seen box, or the guy that's putting in work? And who are you going to give the job to? The guy with the degree in neuroscience as an astronaut, or the guy, I don't know, whatever degree that consists of. So you're going to give it to the guy as a manager who's doing the work, and then promote him from there. See who's money worthy, and stuff like that. And also sometimes it's who you believe in too. Like, nah, I think this guy, I've seen it with my eyes, this guy's gonna be a gem. You know.
Yeah. So, okay, so let me ask in this way too. Like, why does from again, I don't a boxing, you know, noob, I would say I am. Like, why do in the prospects you might see them fight? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You might see them fight like 3 times in a 2 month period, like Abdullah Mason. Like he's on damn near every undercard I see. Like, why is it like that? But as they get, what I'm saying, more established, it slows down. Like, what is that process like? And obviously, you can't be going
Um,
through, the same amount of training camps and things like nature. Like, what's the insight into that? Like,
it's factors. Sometimes it's the fighter. Sometimes it's the team. They want to get their money's worth too. You can marinate fights, bigger fights. It's some of the marinating of bigger fights. Okay, what's the right move? My name is known. Who do I fight? What makes sense? Why am I fighting you? You gotta. It boils down to what are you chasing with this guy? Are you building this fighter up? Like with Abdullah Mason, they're building him up, but he's hot too at the same time, and they want to keep him busy, keep his tools sharp, and elevate him at the same time too. Like he's a young prospect, but he's showing a lot of promise. So you want to just keep that level. He's like what 13-0. You get a guy that's 13-5. 14-4, 32. Can you hear me?
yeah, not
Hello?
key. Yeah.
Yeah. A guy that's 32 and 10, hard guys that are hard, tough fights, but that you still see a good victory in until you get the big fights where at least you're making money and it's legacy for why you're losing. Or why take the L? Are you worth taking the L for that too? Like, there's a bunch of factors. Some people don't think like that, but it's when it comes to building a fighter, if you're the coach on that aspect, you want to get him the right fights. You don't want to throw him out there. He's 2-0, fight a guy that's, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
32-0, or you don't just do that. Like it don't
Oh, man, I lost you again.
even. Hello, sorry about that.
Hello?
It's got to captivate minds. That sometimes too on the bigger stages.
Mm-hmm.
And some guys want to be active. I mean, Canelo fights like 3 times a year, dang near. It might not be the fight when people complain, yeah, but it's not the fights we want. I mean, it's a mandatory.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
mandatory, and then he gives you maybe one big fight out of the year, and then 2 mandatories. Like, but he's a guy that fights a lot.
Yeah. That real. So rounding off here, in my last segment of questions here, I got two more for you. How would you If you got a chance to watch it, the Arturo Brodrick versus Dmitry Bivol fight, and did it live up to the billing?
Did it live up to what I thought it would be? Honestly, I thought Artur Beterbiev would have put on more of a fight, and it would have been like, more of a brawl, just a little more of a brawl. But it didn't turn out how I thought. Let's just say that.
Okay.
But Artur Beterbiev boxed, and he kept him controlled and kept the guy guessing. He kept Artur Beterbiev guessing the whole fight. He controlled the pace. Like, this is what I was saying with Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor felt more survival at times with how she reacted to the punches being landed, and all the punches that were thrown, where Serrano kind of didn't fear, and she was constantly attacking, putting pressure, throwing punches. Whereas Artur Beterbiev is relentless. He constantly, pushes the pace.
You're breaking up.
Give me. I'm sorry, boss. Give me 1 second.
You good? Y'all got that Obama Wi-Fi. We got the antenna.
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah. Sorry
sure.
about that.
You're fine. Last thing we heard was Katie Taylor and how she, style and what she was reacting to as far as survival in comparison to Dmitry Bivol and Arturo Beterbiev.
Katie Taylor. I choose Katie Taylor was trying to like survive almost, whereas Amanda Serrano was like, pushing the pace constantly. Whereas Artur Beterbiev was thinking like a lot of times, and Bivol was keeping him at bay with the long jab, bow, 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 and then when he would push in, he would shoot a combination, bow, 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 bow. Sometimes it wouldn't land, but if it's landing on the glove and you got, 8-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves, I'm sorry. It still does some a little effect. Even if it's a small effect, it's a little effect. I thought he controlled the ring generalship is what they call it. I think Artur Beterbiev had ring generalship and might have edged it 7-5, maybe 8-4. But Artur Beterbiev had moments, I thought. And it wasn't like a clear, like, oh my God, Artur Beterbiev light years better than. Bivol was light years better than Artur Beterbiev.
Mm-hmm. So you thought that Bivol won?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. I think he had ring generalship, and the punches were about the same. He landed combinations. His were just a little more flush when he landed. A little more flush, and he all in all controlled the pace of the fight. I felt like for the most part, I feel like Artur Beterbiev wasn't his usual self. Not saying you can't win using another style. I just think he was flustered. Oh, what do I do here? Oh, where you've seen him push the pace, push the tempo. Was he trying to box? Maybe. But I think if he was trying to box, then it was at Bivol's tempo, not his.
I feel that. And before I get into our final question, I did want to ask you a question before, because you mentioned ring generalship and stuff like that. I think that was a big debate around Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Like, can you describe a little bit about how you would judge a fight if it's ring generalship, like a person that's dominating the action, versus I landed more effective shots in my moment?
Devin Haney didn't have ring generalship, if that's what you're saying.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say ring generalship is keeping the aggressor in a sense on a leash. Like if you're either pushing the fight and it's a fight, which is why Lomachenko had the ring generalship.
Okay.
You're the general of the fight. So do you have ring generalship? Because a lot of boxers, usually they win off ring generalship. is controlling the pace of the fight. So Loma, to me, was controlling the pace of the fight because that was a really great fight. That was back and forth, action-packed, nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Haney's always been known for boxing outside, but, you know, you got somebody that's relentless with a bunch of angles, constantly using the jab that wants to get in, you're going to get in. And
Yeah.
there's great combinations in Lomachenko. Well, great fight, though. I think Lomachenko was probably the general of the ring in terms of that time and that moment. Like, he controlled the fight. Like, I think Devin Haney fought great. He fought back. He showed heart. He showed he's a fighter. He showed he could fight at the top level. But people talk about the power shots at the body. But I'd be like, how did you see that? Did you not see Devin Haney's head get rocked back a whole bunch of times? Like, I kept seeing bow, bow, bow. You talking about body shots. The body shots were great. But I also seen that neck go like that. Boing, boing. Landed every time. Boing. And they were shots he didn't see. Straight left down the middle. So, because he went in the was like, Dad, it's like he knows everything I'm doing. Like, he said that. Like, so, like, these aren't my words. Like, these are his, you know. But he showed he's a top guy. I loved it. I enjoyed that fight. But I don't think Bivol had more ring generalship. He made a brawler not brawl as much, won a brawl, and, you know, kind of chase him around the ring a little bit. But he wasn't cutting it off effectively. And then when he did, he didn't show like a lot of, like, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't show much.
I think that was a huge factor, ring generalship in the TO. It was TO versus I forgot his name, Hispanic fighter. He had just came off of fighting
Sandor Martin.
Lomachenko, I believe. Wasn't Martin. Dude had on red trunks that night. Spanish fighter.
I think I know who you're talking about. He also fought Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Jermaine Ortiz.
Jermaine Ortiz. Yeah. Which I thought Jermaine won that fight personally.
Yeah.
But I would ask this, getting back to more of the Bivol versus Bertolini conversation. First, it's a two-part question. How do you believe the fight between David Benavidez versus David Morrell will play out? And do you think the winner should then be, you know, going on to fight the winner of the rematch between Bivol and Benavidez? So David
That's a good
Morrell versus
question.
the first
That's a good question.
Oh, okay.
Benavidez, man, I'm gonna go Benavidez. I'm going Benavidez. That's a tough one. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm not going because I like him more. I'm just going. I think he'll pull it out. That's gonna be a tough fight though. And if, say, whoever wins, Morrell or Benavidez, they should fight Artur Beterbiev. I wouldn't be mad at it. That's if Artur wants. Yeah, they gave it to Artur Beterbiev, the decision.
Mm-hmm.
So they would ultimately be fighting. Yeah, they would be fighting Beterbiev.
Right. I believe there's a rematch planned for next year, or on the docket. They're trying to work out the numbers and stuff for Bivol Beterbiev 2. So I was trying to see if should the winner, do you think, of that fight between Benavidez and Morrell go on to fight the winner of that rematch fight?
Will they be? They could be. It's a big possibility. Very big possibility. That's why it's a good question. Benavidez, if he wins, or Morrell, why wouldn't you challenge the champion there? You feel like you got a big victory. Like, they're gonna probably go for a belt. And that would be a great fight too. Whoever it is, Morrell and Benavidez versus Artur Beterbiev or Bivol. Great fight.
Before we close it out, how do you feel like that fight's going to play out? If you give a little bit more
on
substance
who?
on Benavidez versus Morrell.
I think maybe Morrell. Benavidez not boxing. So let's just get that out the way. So, I mean, it's either going to be a brawl because Morrell is going to brawl with him and try to get the knockout, or he's going to box him because we know what Benavidez is going to try to do. So it's not a matter of, it's how Morrell's going to go about it. What's his game plan going to be? Will he choose the right game plan? Was there going to be anything good enough to beat this guy is the answers we want, basically.
Yeah.
How I look at it, some people pick Morrell to win, which is not a bad, not a bad take because Benavidez looked great against the last guy, but he looked, not. I wouldn't say like the monster. He's still a monster, but
Yeah.
I would say he was, it went all the way.
Right.
So it went all the way. Whereas his power, he still has power in the division. He had the guy boxing and moving, but you know, some guys can take his punch. Is what I'm saying. Like
Right.
he's not just gonna thrash through everybody. There's some guys that are just that good, or they're veterans. They know tricks. If they're getting beat up, they know how to survive. Like, oh shoot, I'm getting beat up. I'm not gonna win. Let me survive. I'm not finna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. He's not finna say he stopped me. Is what is probably what goes on in their mind too. Is like I'm here to win. Oh snap! I'm not winning. If I go all out, he's gonna get me. Let me survive. Like
Right.
I'm not giving him the benefit of taking me out.
Yeah.
Uh, which gets you fight later on too. Believe it or not,
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
not a role player, but a role fighter. Like he didn't stop this guy, and that's a big thing because those are the guys that get slept on to win titles, big shots
Yeah.
sometimes.
I feel that. That's like that. Reminds me a lot of Sean Porter with what you just said. Not many, or besides Bud,
Yeah.
can really say they even inflicted major damage, but he was always in big fights because he wasn't getting knocked out and bullied around the ring and all this type of stuff. And oftentimes he was doing the knocking out. But for sure, man, I
People try to
appreciate
play Sean Porter too, though. They
what
be
happened.
trying to play Sean Porter. They be trying to play Sean Porter. Sean Porter resume kind of fire now. Like
Yeah,
people think like he
yeah,
took down Adrian Broner. He mauled Paulie Malignaggi. He mauled him. He mauled Paulie Malignaggi. Took down Adrian Broner. Sean Porter has delivered classics. Him and Kell Brook was a classic. Kell Brook had a stiff jab, kind of kept him at bay and fought hard to get that victory. Crazy fight though.
yeah,
Earl Spence, if he didn't get dropped, that fight gotta go. That we gotta run that back. We still gotta run that back, but we don't know now because he's like retired, and
yeah,
we don't know if ring rust will be a thing.
yeah.
But shoot, that could have been if he didn't get dropped.